Hey guys, Special Agent Professor Bill here with a Season 4 premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Episode 1 report from Comic Book University. Guys, this episode, if you didn't see it, stream it. You gotta see this. This was an amazing episode. Granted, I'm an advocate of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a long time now, for all previous seasons, but man, they really stepped it up a lot, and I'm gonna blame it on the 10 o'clock time slot because they can get away with a lot more. Guys, this opens up with the Ghost Rider. There's these guys leaving. You're thinking that they're the watchdogs. Maybe in some strange way, shape, or form they are, but Agent Daisy Johnson, former Agent Daisy Johnson, Quake, is going after them. They blow a flat. They get out. One of these guys has a rocket launcher. And of course, the whole entire time I'm thinking, oh my God, is this going to be like the first issue of the Ghost Rider, all new Ghost Rider? Let me tell you something. They didn't disappoint. Daisy goes and beats up one of the guys, but that knocks him out really quick. As she's holding him after a headbutt to the face, he looks at her and he says, "Please help us. He'll kill us all." And sure enough, the guy's like bleeding out of his chest. She's got blood in her hands and she didn't cut him. So it wasn't her. These guys are like, oh my God, shoot anything that moves. So here comes an innocent bystander, comes walking around, and they start shooting at her. Daisy runs over, pushes her out of the way. Yay, she's saved. But now she's kind of pinned down. Not to fear. There's a Dodge Charger right down the street, looking right at them. They know what's about to happen. We got a good idea what's about to happen. Guy pulls out the rocket launcher, big old RPG. I'm ecstatic. It happens, guys. Shoots, score, hits the Charger. It flips up in the air, explodes, only catches on fire, lands back down, continues charging, slams right into the side of this pickup truck. The guys get out, and they just start disappearing. Literally, like Ghost Rider's just grabbing these guys, pulling them, and just crushing them, crushing their skulls, whatever he's doing to them. It's all off camera. It's freaky, sick, scary. At one point, he's walking, he's flipping his keys in his hands, grabs the guy, yanks him away. Daisy's watching the whole thing like, what the heck, man? At one point, he actually takes one guy he needs a hostage, puts him in his trunk. Maybe he's just saving for later. Maybe he's doing that teleportation thing through the trunk thing that he's done before, because he's done that in the comics. Okay, and then he just drives off, and Daisy's like, what the F? Okay, so we're going to flip over, and we see Agent Mack and Agent Coulson. Agent Coulson now, he's been fired. He's not the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore. Demoted. We see that they're like, oh, hey, something's going on, man. We just got back from like a 6-month mission or something like that. And, we were up in the air the whole entire time in the Quinjet. Pretty cool, right? Okay, actually it was the bus. I think they had the Quinjet with them anyway. So Melinda May shows up and she's like, guys, we got a little bit of a idea that this is what's going on. Daisy might be out there, so keep it on the low and go try and bring her back. If you don't bring her back, I'm going to go out and I'm going to kill her, but I'm going to not let the director know because he's going to say, go in and shoot to kill. So they take this as what they can and they go. Right before they have to go, though, Mac has to do a quick little debriefing with Yo-Yo. Remember her, the heartbeat? She got like, within the time frame of heartbeat, she can run really far and then has to come all the way back. Anyway, she's one of the Inhumans, one of those guys. The one, she's from South America. Yeah. Anyway, the 10 o'clock time slot's really showing because she's like all sorts of, hey, how you doing? And, he's like, hey, you're really forward, and I'm not that confident to let a woman, talk to me first, but, hi. She's like, why don't you just invite me out to dinner, a little this, a little that, we'll see what's going on. Anyway, it's funny. I laughed. Well, it turns out that she's a double agent. Because, see, we go back to L.A., and Daisy breaks into the hospital and goes and talks to the guy. Turns out they're all a part of the Aryan Brotherhood. There's some kind of a truck stolen, and there's some contents inside the truck. They don't know what's going on. Anyway, so Daisy checks it out. The guy gets up. He's like, once the Ghost Rider touches your soul, there's no healing the soul. And he just bleeds out and dies. She blows a side of the wall out and just runs for it. We see her a little bit later on the bus, and she's talking to Yo-Yo in the back. So Yo-Yo's like a double agent thing. That's the reason why we got the Sokovia Accords, isn't it? And anyway, so she reports and says what's up, and Daisy's like, okay, cool, thanks, and leaves. You guys remember Dr. Radcliffe? He's the guy who's doing all the cybernetic stuff and the human enhancement stuff, with electronics and all sorts of things like that, and skin grafting. And he was that guy. And he was supposed to be like a really dangerous threat guy until Hive came. It was like, I'm going to use you, and you're going to make those inhuman madmen with no mouth things for me. And yeah, that guy. Anyway, he got a pardon, but it's conditional. He's not allowed to make any new technology without letting S.H.I.E.L.D. know first. Anyway, he started making new technology, and he didn't let S.H.I.E.L.D. know. But he does invite Fitz over, Agent Fitz, and he comes over and he's like, hey man, what's going on? What's going on over here? And all of a sudden there's an LMD there. And it's like, what? So, yes, we've got the LMDs. We were promised. They delivered. First episode, man. Anyway, he's trying to keep that on the down low also because nobody trusts the new director, man. Like, what's up with that? Anyway, he calls the LMD Ada. Now, Ada is interesting because she was shown in the very last episode of the season 3, the finale, and she was like this AI program, kind of like Jarvis. So back to Ghost Rider. Turns out he's a local hero. People are like spray painting pictures and murals of him on walls and things like that, and it's really cool, man. You actually see Gabriel Luna, the guy who's playing Robbie Reyes, as Agent Mac and Agent Coulson are walking around a corner saying they're going to take over this crime scene thing where they found the trailer apparently. Gabriel Luna is there. Robbie Reyes is there. And he's working for Canelo's auto body. Just like in the comics. Daisy's looking for a Dodge Charger, clearly, because she saw it. And she's trying to find this Ghost Rider guy. Somebody points her out and says, listen, you're not going to find that model anywhere around, but you could find some scrap pieces for it in so-and-so junkyard down here. She goes to the junkyard, and Robbie's working there. Anyway, he's hiding his car there, and he's also hiding the guy from the Aryan Brotherhood there so he can interrogate him. And he tells him at one point, he's like, listen, man, you're going to tell me, or you're going to tell the ghost. So the Ghost Rider actually is a separate personality in some way, shape, or form inside of him. We don't know how it works yet. Why would they give it all away the first episode, right? But he is somebody different, and it's mentioned several times in the episode. Anyway, so Daisy asks him about the car, and it's like, well, I'm not really sure. But then he starts to get a little suspicious and says, well, you could go and check the main office over there. It's not really an office. But so she's all like, okay, cool. And then he asks a few more questions. He gets even more suspicious and figures, okay, you know what? And pulls out his keys, does that little flip thing. Yeah, she recognizes the key flip thing. So she turns around and does like a kick and a boo, big, earthquake vibration thing. Robbie gets thrown up against some wall, and he's like, oh, cool. So I don't have to hold back. So he picks up this rod, ignites it with hellfire, and goes right after her. They go back and forth and do their little thing and whatnot. At one point, she's starting to kick a little butt, and he says, again, it's not me you have to worry about. And then, boom, dude goes full Ghost Rider on her. The car's not involved, it's just him, but like his face actually burns and melts off, and there's that metallic-looking mask that Robbie Reyes uses for the Ghost Rider thing. Anyway, wow. I'm just saying, guys, this looks good. These are great special effects. They sunk some cash into this, and it shows. This is a beautiful looking Ghost Rider. This looks like something you'd see off of a Netflix series. No joke. Just, more light. I think they've got to pay their electric bill at Netflix because everything's so dark there. So they go and put a beating on each other. Ghost Rider comes out on top. Comes down, throws this thing on her. She's holding it up with her vibration powers. She can't let go. She can't fight back. She can't even defend herself. And says, fine, just do it. I deserve it. Anyway. So Ghost Rider goes and is like, all right, man. And comes down and looks at her, and not quite the pen and stare, because he never uses the pen and stare in the comic book. So maybe he's got it. Why wouldn't he have it? Maybe he does. But he doesn't use any kind of a pen and stare on her. Sorry, guys. Instead, he just looks at her, and he kind of judges her innocent. He doesn't say it like, the Nicolas Cage movie. Would have been cool, but yeah, it would have been that, throwback to that movie, and they're trying to disassociate themselves from it. Whatever. Anyway, he just looks at her, and then gets up and walks away. So she pushes, rolls out and just, oh my God. The point is that this scene was bad-assed. We go back and we see Mac and Coulson. They're looking through some VR stuff and they're seeing that, hey man, there's this Asian gang that's going up and they're trying to see what's in the box and found the box and the trailer and stuff like that. And turns out the people in the back of the box, they must have opened or something because they went nuts. And so the guys come in and they open the box and ghosts, guys, no joke, ghosts come out of the box. It's like something off of The Grudge or The Ring or something like that. Well, Agent Melinda May and her cohorts, her little strike team, show up, just wipe the floor with everybody. Bring everybody back in. One of those ghosts seems to go inside of Melinda in some way, shape, or form. And it's shown later that she's affected somehow. Maybe the ghost doesn't like the men. Don't know. Either way, there's something we're going to see later. No doubt. November 4th, right? That's when Doctor Strange comes out. Here's that mystical element that they're talking about. I guarantee by around November, the beginning of November or so, we're going to figure out exactly what was in that box. So we go back and we see that Gabriel Luna's character, Robbie Reyes, he's completely healed. He had a big cut on his cheek, and that just healed totally. And he's standing there on the street corner, and he's waiting. And a car shows up, and here's Gabe. Ah, man, this is the thing that just, I said, if Gabe's not in this, I don't even know what to say about this. Gabe is his little brother. Remember, he's paralyzed from the waist down. He's, mentally challenged. I don't know that he's mentally challenged in this. It doesn't seem like it. He mentions that he had to do the books for Canelo's auto body because his big brother, Robbie, doesn't know how to do math. Apparently isn't very good with math. He dropped out of school after the 11th grade. So Gabe and Robbie are aged a little since the comic, so that's cool. I have no complaints with that whatsoever. Hey, maybe the comic is exactly what happened, and that was just the prequel to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Maybe all those 12 issues, everything that happened there actually did really happen. And that's cool because if you remember, Mr. Hyde was a part of that. And Mr. Hyde is technically Daisy's real biological father. And yeah, so that could be a future tie-in. Who knows? Honestly, though, this was a great episode. Met every qualification that I could possibly expect for a good episode 1 premiere show. I already love this. The later time slot, it's showing that they're doing some good stuff with this. They can make this now for a slightly more mature audience. Anyway, this is Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.